when the weather used to be stuffy men in suits telling us as accurately as they could how the weather would be. But more and more, I see extreme claims about what weather we're going to have. It's January, it's cold. What does everybody want? Snow. It's going to be deep snow in London 5 days next week. But then it isn't. It's going to snow tomorrow. Yes, in a completely different part of the country. Now, this isn't something new, and to be clear, this video isn't about climate change not being real. It's about the fact that you just can't trust the weather anymore. And there's a few different reasons. There was a meme where they pointed out that Apple phones cannot show 69 degrees, and people thought it was because that would be rude or funny or memeable. But no, it was something else altogether. They get the temperature and they convert it. So, and then they round it. So they automatically round the weather, which temperature rounding is fine. I mean, it's just an estimation anyway, but there are times that that can be inaccurate. The TV weather, well, it always claims that it's the hottest ever, it's the cold, it's the warmest ever, it's the hottest ever, it's the most snow, it's the most rain, it's the driest. And part of this is just marketing. There's an excellent chapter in Nate Silver's Signal and the Noise about weather, how if they tell you that there's a 20% chance of rain and then it rains, you're annoyed because you didn't take your umbrella. If they say there's a 40% chance of rain and it doesn't rain, they're happy. And although they had nothing to do with whether it rained or not, that halo effect applies to them. So they deliberately give false data. They take an estimate and then they add 25% to the chance of it raining. So you see a 75% chance of raining, you go out with your umbrella and it doesn't rain at all. And it doesn't rain because there was only 50-50 anyway. At the same time, the TV has changed the colour categorisation for weather. So when you have red for extremely hot, orange for warm, yellow for quite warm, they make it red a lot earlier so that they can back up the claim that it's the warmest month ever or the warmest July ever. Well, I definitely see a change in the climate. I see spring happening later. I see autumn happening later. I see winter happening later. In countries in Europe where you used to go in Christmas and it would be a guaranteed snowfall, now that snowfall is in mid to late January. The snow season has moved by 4 to 6 weeks. But climate and weather aren't strictly the same thing. Climate is an average of everything. Weather is what's actually happening. It's a bit of a simplification, but let's go with that. But because we have to have change in climate, we have to have change in weather. So we falsify the colour coding. Maybe not falsify, just deliberately change them to make it look warmer. And then we get the Met Office making claims that just don't stand up to the vaguest memory. It was the warmest spring on record. Well, I remember warmer springs. I mean, last year I certainly remember drier winters. And casting my mind back on the summer, I can't remember as many weeks where it was hot, but I certainly remember it being hotter. I also remember summers where it rained the whole way through. Worst school holidays ever. And when I look at time out and see a claim that there's going to be 5 days of deep snow next week, are they claiming real data, or are they cherry picking something that gets them a clickbait picture for Instagram? I lean towards the last. This is weather as marketing. It's not science anymore. And it was always a bit on the edge of science, not as a criticism. It's such a complex system, so beyond complete level of understanding by the human mind and models, and it's the old butterfly theory. So you make a best guess using scientific estimates, and then the media pick the one that makes a good picture or a good headline. Either way, the internet has led to less accurate weather. I remember when I would wake up and the first thing I would do would look at my phone to see what the weather was going to be before I looked at the news. I stopped doing that many years ago because it was so inaccurate. I was better putting my finger in the air and feeling what the weather was, or looking at the sky. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. But it's a sad indictment of the modern world that we've become so marketed to, because we're the product now, that old wives' tales are a better predictor of weather than newspapers and TV.